Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I haven't posted in a while because I've had school and I had my finals on Friday because it was the end of my semester, but I'm here now and I wanted to try out something different. I've only made one video sort of like this before, but I'm going to be going over, in my opinion, the top 5 best brawlers in Brawl Stars right now and who you should be pushing before the update comes out and the balance changes come. So, at the 5th best brawler in Brawl Stars, in my opinion, is Edgar, one of the newest brawlers in the game right now. And I know some of you might disagree, and a lot of pros put Edgar higher on their tier lists. But I feel like he's a little bit overrated. He isn't as good as he's super hyped up to be, but he's definitely still a top 5 and a super solid brawler. His gadget is definitely the best thing about him because if he pops it, he just pretty much gets a free super. And this just allows him to put constant pressure on someone, and if they do get into his range, he can jump on them and pretty much get a free kill because his unload speed is super fast and he can do a ton of damage in a super small amount of time. Now in 3v3s, this can win him a lane and help him pinch into toward the middle. He's not great at that because of his range, but he can flash his super and kind of push him out so your teammates can help. And in Showdown, he's also super solid because you just need to hold your ground and pick people off one by one by using your gadget and charging your super and just getting a ton of power cubes like you're seeing in this gameplay right now. Now, as for long range brawlers, as Edgar, you really just want to stay behind walls and wait till you can find your perfect opportunity to jump on them and just kill them. Because if you're patient enough, then you'll usually win that 1v1. Unless they have some sort of wall break and then clap you. And short range brawlers kind of counter Edgar, but if you kind of stay at the maximum range, at the very end of his range, against bulls or Shellys, even though it isn't very far, it definitely reduces the damage by a lot that you take, and you can end up taking them out too. So as for the game in the background right now, there's only 3 brawlers left, me, the Daryl, and the Rosa. I decided to jump on the Rosa here, and then the Daryl just spins and gives up because Edgar is OP. So yeah, that's going to be the 5th best brawler in the game right now in my opinion. Let's see who I put at number 4. So the 4th best brawler in the game right now is Mr. P. Now, Mr. P is just an all-around amazing brawler. He was really underrated before, and he still is super underrated. But because of that extra damage boost, he can just do a ton of damage and win almost any 1v1. He's definitely a top 3 mid in 3v3s because he can just hold control, use that super long range with handle with care, and sometimes hit 2 shots if they walk into the second one, which is over 2,000 damage just in one ammo. And as you can see, I just hit that Rosa for a ton and allowed the Poco to finish her off. But his porters are actually my favorite part about him because they can just track people down and waste a ton of their ammo, especially if you use your gadget when it gets low. It replenishes its health and gives it more. And so once they're out of ammo, then you and your teammates can just push in at them when they can't shoot you anymore. So I kill that Nita. These 2 Surges and the Poco there are all teaming. But Mr. P is such an OP brawler that he can deal with that. This Surge rushes me, and what I do here is place my turret on top of me and my porter and use my gadget just to tank so much HP that Surge and the Surge at the bottom couldn't even kill me. So now I'm just using my range to bully these brawlers left, and I shoot the Surge twice and the Poco just finishes them off. And you want to place your porters behind walls so that people can't attack the base easier. And you want to use your porters just as a little meat shield for you and your gadget to beef them up a bit. So it's the end of the game again. Me versus this Leon. He doesn't really stand a chance. And Mr. P is just such a good brawler. There's nothing that's really bad about him. If you end up playing Mr. P in Brawl Stars, you'll definitely have a good time. So Mr. P is going to end up being number 4 on my list. Let's see who I put as number 3. Alright, so personally, I think B is going to be a top 3 brawler in Brawl Stars right now. Mostly because she has arguably the best gadget in the game. That Rattled Hive, even though it got a 200 damage nerf per little bee or whatever that's swirling around her, it still does a ton of damage and prevents people from healing up by shooting them from around walls at like a super long range. B is, like Mr. P, a solid mid in 3v3s because with that star power that gives her another supercharge shot, she can be shooting 3k shots left and right and just be one-shotting everyone in the lobby, which is really good for holding control and just like staying on the field. In Showdown, she's also really good with the other star power, Honeycoat, which lets her survive, which I already used up, but it gave me a free, pretty much extra life in Showdown at 1 HP when I should have died, and it just gives you another attempt at living, and attempt at winning the game, and also you can just use it to rush in at someone and get a free kill when they really can't kill you. So this is really good for Showdown, as B is like the #1 played and has the highest win rate in Showdown right now. Really broken. I probably should have pushed B to rank 35 when her gadget was like even more OP than it is right now. And I probably could push her, but like, I'm bad. Also, even though B doesn't have a lot of HP, she makes up for it with her insane range because she can be shooting 3k shots across the map pretty much. And if you're good at juking shots from that far range, even long range brawlers can't hit you, and you can just stay alive for such a long time while still putting pressure on them. So looking at the end of this game here, there's an Edgar, but B has her slowdown with her super, which counters pretty much every tank in the game with her 3k shots, and there's nothing he can do. So I put B as the 3rd best brawler in the game. Let's see who I have at number 2. So number 2 best brawler in the game right now is 8-Bit. 8-Bit was actually one of the worst, if not the worst brawler in the game back when he had an extra life. Not including Showdown, I mean in 3v3s he was just garbage. But now that they removed that and added that his new gadget that makes him faster when he's within his super radius, he just became so much more prevalent in the meta, and he just kept rising up those ranks until now he's the 2nd best brawler in the game. And if his base speed weren't so slow, just without his super, he probably would have been number 1. But with 8-Bit, you just can't go wrong. If you have his super, there's nothing bad about him. He has good speed, very fast speed actually, insane damage with that 50% boost inside of his boosted booster, or his attack booster, and his range is crazy for the amount of HP he has. He's super beefy while having one of the longest ranges in the game. 8-Bit is just so good. One of the best mids, if not the best mid in the game. And you can't go wrong with playing him. He's seen pretty much everywhere, up in like high ladder and in competitive, because he can just hold control and he's so hard to kill. If you can hit your shots with 8-Bit, you're pretty much going to win. So yeah, 8-Bit is number 2. Let's see who the best brawler in the game is right now. So as most of you may have guessed, the best brawler in the game right now, by far, is Byron. Supercell, please nerf Byron. He's way too strong, and he was already the best brawler in the game, and they added a really good star power for him that gives him a piercing shot every 3.5 seconds. Also solid star power. Byron is so good in 3v3s and in Showdown, but mainly in 3s because he's so good at supporting his friends and keeping pressure on the opponents at the same time. Because of his poison and that constant chip damage, he does 15,000 per shot, and he doesn't allow them to heal up for a while. He can also shoot his teammates and heal them the same amount that he does damage, which just keeps them alive for so long. And you may be saying, oh, he doesn't have much HP, so he can't stay alive himself. His gadget heals him up 800 per second for the next 3 seconds, which is just BB's gadget, but better. Yeah, it consumes an ammo, but who cares about that?
Byron's super is also super good because it's a pretty much an instant 2 to 3,000 damage for one or more opponents, and the same amount of healing for your teammates or yourself. So it's great for finishing off people and just getting a burst amount of healing. Super versatile super that can be used pretty much anywhere. So yeah, as the final game is being wrapped up here, those are my top 5 brawlers, in my opinion, in the game right now. Definitely push these brawlers before they get nerfed. And I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I haven't done like a tier list or top 5 or bottom 5 brawlers before, so I might start doing them more often if this one does well. Thanks, everyone.